Okay, cool. We're recording. But the topic for today is asking yourself better questions because unfortunately a lot of us are in a place that doesn't sit so well with our spirit, with our soul, with how we're feeling, right? We all know that kind of state that you can be in. That could be situations, places, or people. Situations in terms of, what's going on around you, places maybe where you live or who you live together with, and people, obviously, as people. Also, feelings are emotions that are uncertain or not welcomed as something that everyone experiences and everyone goes through, regardless of how developed your self-love is or your confidence or all these things. And I really sat down and asked myself, cool, how do you get rid of these things, right? How do you get out of these situations, these places, get away from these people? It's literally by asking ourselves better questions, guys. Asking ourselves better questions. And today I just want to talk a bit about how I came up with that topic. And it was really that I remembered the lowest times in my life, like that were really, really painful, mentally, physically, and emotionally, right? A lot of people have been there, but my overall frequency wasn't good, like literally ever. And whenever people like felt I was in a good mood or I was literally looking happy, I was really faking it. You know what I'm saying? I was faking it just to not having to have that conversation with people that I'm not feeling well. And a lot of people might be doing that because it's not always easy to open up, especially if you're a person that deals with a lot of stuff by themselves naturally. You might be that type of person. I'm definitely that type of person. So for me to then share, when everyone's saying, oh my God, you look so happy and da, to then share, yo, I'm really not feeling okay, is very, very hard, right? And I feel like we all been through that, and I think we need to remember that. And like, it was literally that the only time I did feel more at peace was when I was like dancing with my eyes closed, like literally just being in the music. So maybe you guys have something else that you might be doing to feel more at peace, right? But I was literally waking up every single day crying, literally crying for better, just going through emotions and just thinking, yo, like, why am I this sad when really I'm still blessed? It was not that anyone, I don't know. It was not that I was living on the streets. It was not that I was not having food. I was still very blessed with the general circumstances, right? But that also made me realize that if our emotional state and our mental state is literally not okay, then everything else won't matter, right? It's literally that if your mindset, if your mind frame, if your mental health is not feeling great, guys, nothing else is going to matter. And that's why it's so hard. That's why it's so powerful. And I tell people all the time to develop their mindset, right? Because our mind, the way we think, can literally make us happy, it can make us whole, or it can make us bitter, and it can make us sad. So you need to choose what it's going to do for you. Because regardless of all the people you have around you that love you, regardless of where you are, regardless of all the money, the material things that you might have, you're still not going to feel good about it. And that's just something that you are not alone with. Because I feel like a lot of people feel this is something that doesn't happen to anyone else, right? So what I did in those moments, in those days, in that time it was like a few years maybe. So what I did when I kind of got too fed up with it basically was I started to remember the days when I felt happy and at peace, right? Literally a few years before that. And then I started like a whole conversation with myself, basically, like within myself, asking myself better questions. Asking myself better questions has actually been the thing that saved me. Conversations with self and seeking for self has actually saved me. So that's why when you hear self-love, and it's such a big trend now, it is something that it is really going to set you free if you have knowledge within, like if you know what's going on within you, right? So for example, the questions were, when was the last time I was happy? When was the last time I felt at peace? When was the last time I remember drifting into sufferation? Or what happened in my life that made me turn into this unhappy soul? Who left my life and made me feel better or worse? What happened in my childhood and why am I the way I am now? Right? And I realized life is happiness. And even my mother, literally, she's like the pure embodiment of that. Like, she's just always happy. Like, she seems always happy to me. You know what I'm saying? But it was also very hard for me. So for anyone that, for example, doesn't live with their loved ones, it was really, really hard for me because I was away from my family. And for the first time, I was going through these thoughts, right? So that was actually the first time I understood why people might get sunken into suicidal thoughts, because they feel alone, they feel misunderstood, and they feel lost. And as we all said, right, the mind is extremely powerful, but knowing that, or drifting into that zone of understanding why people might feel that way, I didn't want it to get there. I never wanted to come close to even that border. You feel me? So that's why I kind of had that wake up call for myself. And it's that we try to find value in people and in other things, but until we realize that all the answers are within, guys, nothing else is going to help. No other relationship, no other best friend, no other partner, no other, I don't know, everything, right? It's not going to make sense. And you really need to ask yourself, guys, what is your purpose? Like, what is your purpose? Your reason for being alive, your reason for being born and being loved unconditionally. Because these things that we think about, it's like, oh, this person doesn't love me, this person doesn't like me. If we take away like everything, like every materialistic thing, every man-made thing, what would be there, right? How big would you be? How blessed would you be? Infinitely. You would be infinite. If you take all these boxes away of your gender, your age, the date you were born, where you are born, how you look, essentially it would just literally be infinite goodness that we are, that we all are, and that we all have within. Literally, that's why people say the universe is within you. God is within you. But it's just for us to break that down and actually find it. You feel me? So also ask yourself all the good things you remember. How was that? Like, do you want to feel like that again? If you feel very low, you might be asking yourself the wrong questions. You might be asking yourself the questions of, when is this going to stop? All these things. Whereas what I did was I had to remind myself of how it was to be happy, right? How it was to be joyful. And if I ever felt joyful, if you ever felt joyful and happy, right? If so, then who had the power to take that away from you? Who did you give the power to take that away from you? Who did you give that power to, literally? Because that's all we do, right? And the more you answer these questions, right, that dig deep, that might be hurtful, that might make you feel like broken down at some point, the more you will find that, in fact, everything that happens to us is because you allow it to happen. We allow the people to do these things to us. And once you understand this, you know that you must change, because you then are like, cool. So me staying in this mind frame and this state of how I'm feeling, whether it be emotionally, mentally, physically unwell, that's my choice for staying there, right? That's literally your choice. And you must change in order to be happy. You must change in order to be loved, guys. And you have to love you. That is literally the only way. That's why when it comes to self-love, I'm passionate, and I see that certain people try to use it as something just to make it seem like they're okay. But have you really asked yourself these questions that hurt? And that's okay, you know what I'm saying? But just keep it real with yourself and be like, I have to go through this, and that will make me a better person. Because remember, if you feel discouraged or in the dark, guys, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. There's always a high after low. But it will be a journey, right? It will be a process. You just need to remember why you started. Remember why you don't want to feel like this anymore. Because that's literally what I did. That's all that I did. I was just like, this can't be life. You feel me? Because you go out, you watch movies, you listen to music, and you see certain things. You're like, I remember when I used to feel better about myself, or about my situation, or about my day-to-day, you know what I'm saying? Like my day-to-day habits, whatever the case may be. And it's just looking back and remembering is going to save you, because you already experienced it. If you're a person that maybe you had a nice relationship, right? A few years ago, you thought that was literally the match made in heaven, and you guys broken up. A lot of people take that as a negative reminder. They're like, oh, I went through this. I don't want it anymore. What you should do is look back and be like, yo, that felt amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that felt nice to be with someone that actually cares about me, that will literally call me and check up on me every day, whatever you guys prefer. And, you know, everyone has different little things that we desire in relationships. But those little things that were there, right? Instead of saying, oh my God, like, it's so painful that it's not there anymore, you should be looking back and be like, yo, this was so beautiful. I can't wait till I find that again. And then literally go from there. Because you don't want to like turn it the wrong way around, guys. And literally, once you establish the understanding of everything I literally just said today about asking better questions to yourself, or just at least remembering what you don't want to have, right? And then starting, it will literally start naturally that you're going to ask yourself better questions. For the people in the business, we talk about this all the time. Ask better questions, whether it be to your mentor, to an educator, whether it be to someone you want as a business partner, anyone. Better questions is literally what's going to make it easier. Because we keep talking and screaming about communication, right? How are you communicating with yourself, guys? How are you communicating with yourself? Because too many times we be around other people and just trying to make it work for everyone else but yourself. Are you listening to your soul screaming for help inside, like deep down? That's the reason why you feel depressed. That's the reason why you're crying every day. That's the reason why you might have an eating disorder, or why you might be having crazy thoughts. You feel me? That is the reason, because you are not letting it out. You're literally just ignoring it, trying to push it to the side when really it's literally deep within. Like, you can't be doing that. And I just want people to, you know what I'm saying? That's why I started this course, just to have a reminder of someone that's been through things. And everyone has been through things. And not everyone talks about it. You know what I'm saying? I wish there was more people talking about it, because that's how I kind of got into that mind frame. I was literally looking at videos, going through that, finding answers. And that's what it is about. But you can't always rush to the next person to ask for advice. You can't always rush to the next book, to the next, I don't know, next movie, next podcast, like whatever you think is going to help. It is literally all within you. But you need to start unraveling and stop basically just packing it down. Like, that's not going to work, right? But when you understand these things, guys, you're also going to start to affirm strong things to yourself. People that have been here from the beginning, I definitely start saying that, affirmations on a day-to-day basis are going to change the way you think. It's just a natural thing. Like, it's just, if you're standing in front of the mirror and saying to yourself, you are beautiful, or I am beautiful, you look at yourself into the eyes and you're doing that for a few minutes. At some point, you're going to feel something, you feel me? Some people start crying for the first time. Some people start smiling. Some people start remembering other things, right? Because that's what it's essentially about. You want to give your mind something healthy to think about, so that this is now in the subconscious happening over and over again, and then in reality. Because that's really what it is. You want to trick your mind. But you can't trick your soul. You can't trick your spirit. You can't trick your heart. That is the issue here, right? So that's why I just want to encourage everyone to ask themselves better questions, to ask people around them better questions. If someone needs help, that you see they need help, or they ask you for help, ask them questions. In return, sometimes that's better. If someone asking you for help is, for example, should I do this or do that? What would you like to do first? What do you think is going to help? More time they're like, I don't know. Okay, which one do you want? Like, what do you want to do first? What do you want to try first? I'll just go with this one first. Cool. Do that and see if it works. You want to inspire people to think for themselves, right? There's no point in always, as I said, we can't always run to the next mentor, to the next friend, to the next person. You need to understand how it works for you, and then you can help other people seeing that as well. But that was literally the topic for today, guys. Yeah, it was just something I was literally thinking about, of how I actually got started on this journey, or what really helped me. At this point, I want to open it up for questions or mastermind. So mastermind could be anything from sharing what you liked, what you loved, saying something, adding something, asking a question, whatever you want to do. So now is the time. So you can actually, how do you say that? Unmute yourselves, guys, or type something in the chat. I'm going to just see if anyone wants to share anything. But yeah. I'm going to wait a bit and see, because sometimes people type something in the chat. But that is the session for today from my side. Definitely something that literally, as I said, that helped me to get out of my darkest times. But is there anyone that wants to share anything?
I will go. Sis, first I want to say thank you for that, because you're always dropping the facts when I really, really need to hear stuff like that. So I want to say thank you. I do agree with you. Like, there was something, an idea that popped in my head when you were telling us about, lifting ourselves and focusing on what we need to do. Something someone had told me is follow your hypocritical advice. what would your hypocrite self tell your best friend? So it's something that, like, you've kind of just reminded me of that quote that I need to remember. Sorry, I know I haven't got my camera on, not in the best ways myself. I know got bad news today, so yeah, rest in peace. I do hope these souls rest in peace and they find serenity wherever they are. Um, it is really difficult, especially when you have a lot. Like, I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna share a little bit. It is really difficult at times when you have a lot going on, and like you're trying to move forward, and you feel like somebody's like your situation's pulling you jumps back, not even steps back, jumps back. So, having being able to take time to focus on what you need to do to develop yourself so that, even if you're jumping back, you can move forward through it. I'm sorry, I've not got the words today. I'm kind of pushing myself to talk because I need to get out of the space I've been stuck in for the past week. For those of you who don't know me, I'm on Naomi's team. Hi. For the past week, basically, just to give you a little download of what's been going on. I haven't been too well, and because of my condition, it's been bringing me down a lot because I haven't been able to focus on the things that I need to do or want to do. And bless her, sis has been checking up on me and making sure that I keep going, and I'm grateful to her for it. But I've had my moments where I'm like, I, I, I'm not gonna lie, this week I've had my moments where I'm like, I just wanted to give up on myself. I've had to stop and realize that, you know what, these struggles are just like the struggles I've been through before. And if I'm going to be real with myself, they're not going to be the only struggles I face. There's something we need to realize is hurdles are a part of life. It's how you deal with them. Are you going to just stand there in front of it, or are you going to jump over it? You can choose to just stand there and go, oh my gosh, that's a hurdle. The hurdle too hard to jump over. I can't be bothered. Or you could say, you know what, fuck this. Let me raise my leg and let's go. And yeah, I've had my down moment, and I've had my times where I'm like, I want to give up. But then I've had to keep picturing, when I get to those points, I've had to kind of picture my future self. And I keep having to remind myself this. I have to picture my future self standing in front of me saying, what are you doing? I'm here. I'm proof. You can do it. What are you doing? Why are you giving up? So just to any of you that are going through struggles, all right, if you are and you're at the point that I was at where you wanted to give up, don't. Your future self didn't give up, so why should you? Okay? If your future self was there, be telling you, how dare you? So always think to yourself, why am I giving up on myself? How dare I even give myself the right to give up? Okay? We don't have the right to give up. We don't. The stuff we have in life, we have blessings for that people don't have. A lot of people don't have. Something I try to practice, because I do have people always saying, how are you? How are you feeling? And the thing I've always found that's kept me pushing forward is saying, I'm surviving. I'm not going to say I'm not well, or I'm not going to say I'm not okay. I'm surviving. I'm alive. It's a low point. It's a low quote, but it's me saying I'm still grateful. At least I'm still here. You know, you have to be grateful for even the little things. You have to find a positive. You have to fight through and find a positive in everything. So I don't know if my point's come across, but yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
No, definitely. Thank you for sharing. I would say, instead of saying surviving, say living. Because surviving, and there's a lot of people surviving, there's a lot of people existing, but are they living life? You feel me? Like, for the people in the business, like, it's working a job you don't like, or for anyone really, it's working a job you don't like until you're 60, 65, 70, living or existing. For me, that's not living life, because we all want to live life a certain way. So say I'm living, you feel me? I'm
That's
alive.
true.
I ain't surviving. I'm far from surviving. I'm alive, you feel me? I'm here. Because literally today was another reminder for me of just how unpromised anything is. To have someone pass away that's so young, like a young mom, it doesn't make sense. You feel me? It doesn't make sense. It's just like it's just weird. And also the concept that you said of thinking of your future self, seeing your future self, is actually so powerful. Like, that's basic, because you're basically visualizing and manifesting at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So you're actually already in that space. You already accepted that it's going to be there. And there's even like a Netflix series where that's the concept. One of my best friends, he told me, he was like, there's this concept on one series where the woman, she's going through it. I think it's the Queen of South. I'm not too sure. Something like that. But she's literally, every time she's at a low point, she basically got kidnapped and all these things. And she's always seen her highest, like the best version of herself, basically, like successful, healthy, like literally.
Yeah, you're right.
Literally. So it's a very, like, I think that's a dope thing that someone did that in a series, but also in real life. You know what I'm saying? That's literally what's going to help you. But is there anyone else, sorry, that wanted to share something? Because some people dropped something in the chat. But
Now that you mentioned Queen of the South, because that's actually my favorite show, and I've not been watching TV for the past, until this week. I've not actually watched TV this year. So because I deactivated my Netflix account, but one of my friends gave me access. So I was watching the recent series in season 4, and when I used to watch the show, right, and I used to see the main character obviously always being spoken to or guided by a higher self, it made me think that version of herself that she saw, well, even though it's about drug dealers and things like that, right, so we're not really going in that direction, but it made me think, like, that process, even though it wasn't necessarily used for the best of things, it's like that's actually a process that a lot of us go through, that some people need to go through for them to get through what they're experiencing. So for example, when I've had certain situations and I've not had anyone to speak to, I've had to imagine myself as that person that I wanted to be and see, is that person depressed and angry and upset? Is that person, is that version of, is Lola 2.0, angry all the time? Is Lola 2.0 beating up people? Right? You know what I mean? Because I used to have really bad anger issues. Things like that. And when I looked at that, so when I watched it now, I saw it so differently to when I watched it last year, for example. When I watched it last year, it was just entertainment. But when I saw it this week, I was just like, it hit me completely differently, my understanding of it. And it, if someone in that position could do that to get herself to where she wants to be, why can't we? Why can't we use that to become that version of ourselves that we imagine, become that version of ourselves that we dream of, become that version of ourselves that, does all of those things that you want to do, sees all of those places that you want to see, things like that. So, yeah. So I'm very happy that you mentioned that. That's all I wanted to add.
Thank you for adding that. That's powerful. But yeah, it is powerful for me. Like, I always, like, when I was like younger, even with dancing, like, I literally was visualizing myself with so many things that then actually happened. I was like, damn, okay, cool, this is actually working. So, like, it's a nice thing to do, because it doesn't take much. It's like literally your own little movie or whatever in your head, really. But I'm gonna read a few of the comments and see if anyone still wants to share something. So it's a retracement to an uptrend, literally. One of my favorite, looking at yourself in the mirror and compliment yourself. Yeah, it's very important, especially if you're a person, I don't know, if you're not around other people that compliment you, you know what I'm saying, you got to do your job, you feel me? Then I never thought of it as simple as that. I can pinpoint the exact point where I lost myself. Thank you so much. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Because now that's going to literally spark a change, because you literally, like, you even being able to pinpoint where exactly that happened is very powerful and is going to really help you. Then establishing what makes you happy and unhappy and being able to control and know what is very powerful for your soul. Extremely, extremely, guys. The more you know what's making you happy, or what fuels your happiness, what fuels your unhappiness, or I don't even like to use this word sometimes, but you feel me? Like, what fuels whatever makes you feel good and what makes you feel bad. Once you know that, you know what I'm saying, you're not going to put yourself in weird predicaments or weird situations where you don't want to be. You're going to know, okay, it's time to go, it's time to leave, it's time to do whatever, and you will do it, if that makes sense. Thank you for this call. Definitely needed this, a self-reminder that everything is working and I need to focus on things I've been neglecting for decades. To not allow someone to take my happiness and I'm in control. We all must be passionate of our own self-love. Stop trying to find love within other people and find it within myself. I'm listening now to my soul and cry for help instead of ignoring it. And lastly, affirmations are essential. Thanks, sis. You're very, very welcome. But yeah, guys, it's true. You know what I'm saying? Like, the more you're looking for answers in other people, the more you're going to lose yourself. So it's normal that at some point in life you might feel lost. You know what I'm saying? You might feel like, damn, I don't know what I'm really doing. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I want to go. But once you literally, have that connection with yourself, like, people always want to strive to have connections with other things, with materialistic things, with people, I don't know, places. You need to have that same connection, literally passion, as you said, for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're born alone. Even if you're a twin, you're born by yourself. And you're going to, leave this planet, this earth by yourself. So there's nothing really that, that's going to fill you. There's nothing that can make you whole. Even when people say, like, in love and relationships, like, the partner's going to make you whole, that even is a concept that's not even too healthy, to be honest. And because obviously you need to be whole by yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like, someone else is just going to add to what it is that you are. That's how I see it. That's how it should be. That's how a healthy relationship should be. You should be perfectly whole and happy and well and stable and successful by yourself. That other person's just going to be an accessory, like complementing it, kind of making it better in terms of making it more fun. You're saying making it more life. Like, that's how I see it. Because a lot of people say, nah, it's literally balance. You know what I'm saying? You need someone else to balance you out. All that stuff, that's already, like, for me, that's already sounding like unhealthy, negative thinking, right? But then knowing that things can and will go on around us, but to one, acknowledge what's going on in ourselves and addressing it, but also not letting what's going on around us to steal our joy and energy. Definitely needed that reminder, because there's a lot going on out there, and I wanted to spur me on to be the change and help people versus let the current things going on bring me down. Literally, guys, like, the world is a busy place as always for me. This year has been an interesting one. Is continuing to be interesting, but it's just like, if you use everything that's going on in the outside world properly, then I will be fine. Because a lot of people let the external world determine how you feel internally. It should be the other way around. Because once you know what's going on internally, and, like, literally make sure that's okay, and kind of, you know what I'm saying, have that in control, that's going to show you the external world that you actually want. But we are being taught to do it the other way around, right? If we don't get these results in school, that's going to, like, kill our whole life, like, and you're going to be unhappy and not get a job that you want. Like, what? That doesn't even make sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, it actually doesn't make sense. So that external things make the change or make the decisions on what we feel, you know what I'm saying? So that's definitely something we have to look into, because no one tells us these things, or no one reminds us of these, or wants us to think of these things. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for you too. Changing my perspective and taking control of my life. I love that. Invest your struggles to reap your growth. Yeah, I always say as well, like, you grow through your struggles. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you have to do. Use them. Because at the end of the day, it's just an experience. I see everything as an experience. Whether you liked it or not, it was an experience. I'm saying there's nothing else to add to it. It just happened. It is what it is. Can you change it? No. It already happened. Can you change the future? No, you don't have no control over that. Only thing that's literally making sense or is going to do something is what you're like right now, like this second, this day, this hour, this minute, that literally everything. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing, guys. That's the only thing you have real control over. What you do right now with your mind. There's a saying that you only have two choices, right? Joy and misery. Joy and misery. That's it. That's done. Ask yourself now, like on a day-to-day basis, guys, every situation that you're in, if you're doing work and you're feeling like this is getting long, what you're going to choose, joy or misery? You're going to pick joy and be like, yeah, let me get this work done. Shit, let's get it. Every single day you should be doing these things. Every single minute, second. If you're like, the littlest things, right? Are you going to be annoyed about that you can't find something to order on the shop? Or are you going to be joyful that there's so much to choose from? You feel me? These little things that are going to make a difference to you. Are you going to be annoyed now that your phone battery just died? Or are you just going to be joyful that maybe right now you can look outside the window on the train instead of just looking on your phone screen? It's the simple things, It's the little things that are going to make your life look and feel different. Because too many people are looking for the secret. You know what I'm saying? They're looking for the secret of, what's actually going to make me happy? What's actually going to be da-da-da? And they come up with all these ideas, the right partner, the right love, the right job, the right career, the right money, the right car, like whatever we want to tell ourselves, you feel me? It's the little choices that you have, joy or misery. There's nothing there. There's nothing besides that. There's nothing around it. There's nothing in between either. It's either going to be happy about you fucking up. Shit, you're going to be fucked up. What now? Going to do it better next time, right? I'm still breathing. Still here. You would be gone if you wasn't meant to be here anymore, guys. Every day that happens. Every day that happens. Someone said, yes, no one tells us that our mind is a muscle and we need to train it. Yeah. You need to feed your mind like you feed your body, like you feed your fucking phone battery. Because people are getting caught up in so many other things. Like, I need to charge this, I need to charge. Are you charging your mind and your body? Like, every day I need to eat, I need to cook. What are you feeding your mind? Like, that ass. You just watching news? You're just watching weird videos? Like, what is you doing? Scrolling the timeline for 10 hours? What are you feeding your mind, right? That's the literally the frame you should get into. I'm grateful for today in this call and you and everyone here to work on themselves and their way to financial freedom. Yes. And then I need to keep myself energized and full of affirmations. I already see such a change, and you notice when you change your thinking and dialogue, you notice how many other people complain or comply. That's true. That's so true. Oh my God. I had some interesting experiences yesterday. Like it was like a thing where every time I said my opinion or voiced how I feel about something in an interaction, like in a dialogue, then it's like, oh, calm down. I'm like, I just told you what I don't like. You feel me? Like, what now? Like, that, because I said how I feel, now it's too much. Like, and then when it's people always claiming they're like real people, or yeah, I like honesty, da da da. Because I'll be straight up. People might be like, oh, you're rude. I'm like, nah, I'm just dead honest. Like, I don't have filters. You feel me? If you're annoying me at this point, or if this looks stupid, I'm gonna tell you. Even if I met you then and there in that second, or 5 years ago, I'm gonna tell you because I don't have time. And then it's like, oh yeah, but that's a bit much in it. Like, chill out, whatever. And I'm just like, I didn't even say it with energy. I didn't even say it with vim. Like, I just said that doesn't make sense. Or you know what I'm saying? I feel this way because I said this is how I feel. This is what I'm getting from it. That's an issue. Don't let other people dim your light, guys. Don't let them do that. We are whole and complete by ourselves. And the connection we should be seeking should be ourselves and with nature. Exactly. It's crazy. We are too much, or we are too big of a dreamer for them. We're too aspirational. We're picky with our time. Yeah, literally. Like, a lot of people don't actually understand that, but what can we do? What can we do? But anyone else that wanted to share something? Anyone else?
I just wanted to say thank you. It was great. Everything. Actually, you touched on a lot of points that I was either like already thinking of or I had just talked about with someone. And also with people who try to silence you. that's another huge thing. Like, I feel like, honestly, the only reason for another person to try to silence another person, it's always personal. It's always some other personal trigger that they're uncomfortable with, that they feel the need to silence you or to dim someone else's light. Everything is personal when it comes down to it. So, but I think the important thing is to have that connection with yourself and to know yourself, trust in your purpose and how you feel and your intentions, and have that connection with the universe also. But yeah, everything. I love the whole topic today. But thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for being here as well and sharing. You said something interesting. You said that it's always a personal thing, literally. Because there's this book called The Four Agreements, for anyone that knows it. And one of it is, like, one of your agreements with yourself should be to not take anything personal. Like anything. Like anything. And it is a very hard thing to do. But I do try to remember it in certain instances. And it's just funny. It's very funny because when it comes to arguments or little misunderstandings, it's like that literally just pops off because someone takes something personal, and it's like, why are you taking it personal? You feel me? Like, if we all wouldn't take anything personal, oh my god, we would all not be caring. That's how basically children or babies are, in a way, I guess, because they, like, babies, they act off of, like, reaction and emotion. Like, if they're scared, they're gonna cry. If you shout at them and they don't get it, some of them might laugh at you if you shout at them. Some babies feel like, the fuck's you doing? Like, you feel me? Like, what are you shouting at me for? Others are maybe, more emotional and actually start crying, but that's just a, reaction. But they don't really take it personal, in terms of they're not going to understand when you tell them, no, don't do that. It's not going to be like, oh my God, you're telling me not to do it. All of that stuff that humans do, like adults do, basically. Kids are just like, in that moment, that probably felt bad. I remember that, because when I got told off, it wasn't even the fact that I got told, it was just how it made me feel. It just gave me that now I need to cry. That was it. Like, because I'm the youngest, right? So there was moments when everyone's watching TV and I'm playing with my toys. So now everyone's watching whatever, and little Naomi apparently was too loud. All of a sudden, I don't know, with 4 people that say, Naomi, can you be more quiet? I'm like, and I remember I just started crying. Like, I just started crying and just left the room because I was just like, that was too much. But it wasn't that I took it personal. It was just the way it made me feel. It made me feel like, you know what I'm saying? What did I do wrong, kind of thing? Like, shit. But that's what kids think. They don't think about, okay, exactly, like, oh, they're telling me off because this and that, and they just want to watch their movie. And, you know what I'm saying? That's just an adult thing. Like, they always want to connect something and act like it's logic. It's really not logic. You're not moving with logic. And that's a lot of people, guys. Like, literally go and, like, please pay attention. Like, especially now after lockdown. Oh my God, people are actually mad. People are actually mad. I'm talking to people and I'm saying certain things and like, oh, okay. I go in like that, da da da. I'm like, what? Like, what is your issue? Like, you asked me for my opinion on something, or even how I feel about this topic, then I say something, and now I'm literally, you feel attacked.
It's an ego thing.
Yeah, facts.
It's ego.
Facts.
Like,
facts. I don't get it though. Like, is it that deep? You feel me? Like, can you just chill? Like, because everyone's trying to act cool. Everyone's trying to act like, yeah, I don't care, emotionless, whatever.
It's all a mask. It's all a mask. But unfortunately, they don't realize that they take the mask off when they react that way.
That is the first part. Because I'm the worst. I'll be like, oh, now that I hit your ego, your pride. And you're like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Like, why they get angry and then they get emotional and it becomes personal.
Literally. They'd be like, you're just bad rude, like, for no reason. Like, I just said this hurt your ego. And then someone else in that conversation, there's someone else in that conversation and they start laughing. Or even the person themselves, if they flip, sometimes they start laughing. I'm like, you're laughing because because you trying to act all cool, but now it hurt you. And now you're like, oh, damn, she actually read me right. Even someone yesterday, they was saying like, yeah, you're just agitated because she's just reading you. And he was like, yeah, that's true. I was like, well, there we go. It's fucking personal again. Like, if someone's reading you, they're reading you. What? Then, I don't know, deal with it. Just be yourself, innit? Like, everyone should just live. If someone can read you, I don't know why that's so negative. It's just funny.
People don't like to be wrong, honestly.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Like, it takes a lot of maturity to admit when you're wrong and to accept it and be like, okay, let me check myself. I was wrong.
Yeah.
I should have did this. But ego, again, won't allow people to do that.
That's true. And I watched the video. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Muji. It's like he looks like he speaks a bit like he's from Jamaica, but he's also looking like an Asian, and he's like very wise. Moojyi. Moojyi. Anyway, he was talking about living without the ego. I'm gonna put this actually in the chat if I find it. But that video was interesting. He was literally, he's so deep. Like, if I don't know if everyone's ready here, but I'm gonna send you that video anyway.
Yo, I've been seeing that on my YouTube come up as a suggestion, and I haven't watched it for like weeks now. That's funny.
You need to check him out.
I know who that is. I know what you're talking about.
Literally, because I always knew like his face and stuff, but I never checked out the videos, and now I started watching them. They're so
he's like raw vegan. He's like very he's good.
And like I literally like because I watch his videos every day now. That's how I even came up for the topic today, because I was like, cool, you know what I'm saying? He was just talking some deep shit. Like, I know some people are going to get bored for the videos, but if you listen, he makes so much sense, because he even said, so discover or living without ego. I'll put the link in the chat, but he was also saying something like there's a personal self and there's an external, I think that's it, external self. So the personal self is our lowest frequency. That's the lowest place where we can be, because we take everything personally. Everything's about me, ego, when really your external self is how you interact with the world. So he said, for example, showing my love, right? A lot of people have this thing, if someone's not showing me love, I'm not showing love back, right? And yeah, to a certain extent, I have that as well. Because, for example, if you're asking me for your support constantly, but you're just coming and saying nothing, I'm not going to support you. For me, like, I'm going to just be cool. But he said something like, for example, wanting to be more loved or wanting more love in the world. You can't just take that personal, because everything, like with a partner, this and that, you know, you might not feel loved. But if you are externally loving with everything, you know, that's when you're at your highest state. That's why when you see like people that meditate a lot, some people might just be like, it's quiet, at peace, and you're like, this person's weird, bro. You know, I know a lot of people that say that shit, be like, that person's weird. Like, I'm just like, why are they weird? Like, she looks at peace to me, shit. Like, they just be in their own little external love, you feel me? Because everything is connected at the end of the day. Everything is connected. Yeah. But it's just ego that breaks that down, you feel me? Ego and pride that literally breaks it down. That's why the world is the way it is, really and truly.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like when a person like doesn't understand that, it's because they're disconnected from their inner being. And so, like, seeing another person who's the opposite of it and they have so much conflict with them themselves, it's a trigger. Mm-hmm. And it goes back to the ego. And so they're kind of fighting with themselves constantly because they're afraid to face themselves and actually get there.
Funny thing, I definitely seen it as well in a lot of women. Like, dancers. Any dancers here on this call, oh my God. Certain dancers, yeah, when you're around them, they're just loud. They're just very loud. Always like active, trying to look happy, and then there's me, right? So there was this class where I was from one of my homies, and all of my brothers were there, and there was this one girl that's also friends with them. Cool. So I'm just a person, you feel me? I'm just there. But I'll be talking to my people. Like, I don't need to be loud, I don't need to be shouting around. Like, if I just feel like I'm chilling, I'm gonna still have that little 1-2 conversation where people are just preying me, like, why is she talking like that? Like, you know, when people just they just don't understand when you're that person that's just in their own energy. And she is just got so, every time she was around me, she just basically got so, like, nervous kind of thing. She even, like, said something. I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was just, like, me being there in that presence and then her being the full-out person and me just being the person that, you know, I get along with my people because that's my people, but I don't be shouting and shit. It just made her feel weird. And I just noticed that every time I see her, I mean, there's something about this girl I can't deal with, bro. Because you're constantly checking me or checking why I'm quiet. Check your fucking self, you feel me? Check why you need all the attention and always needs to do the most. Like, yeah, I get it with dancers, but fuck's sake, sit down. Like, I don't know, have a long conversation. You know, people always need that attention. And then literally I feel that I'm her trigger. Like every time I'm around, I'd be like, I'm literally triggering this girl and I'm not even doing anything. Shit. Like,
you're being your authentic self and she isn't. It's a trigger.
But it's so weird, because it's like when you're that person that's just the trigger to someone else and you're not even interacting with them, you feel me? You're just minding your own business, but you feel this energy there. You're like, bro, I'm literally triggering this girl, innit? And every time you will look, she's like intimidated kind of thing. I'm like, bro, what is wrong? Like, I'm just trying to chill. Even when I say hello to her, she's like, hey, like, hello, like, are you okay? Like, it's weird, because you can tell the more you're in touch with yourself, guys, the more you're going to shake other people, and you're physically going to see it, and you're going to be like, God damn, why didn't you do shit? Like, but that's the power that you guys have, because a lot of people are not in tune with themselves. And that's why people get confused. They be like, this person's very strong, very powerful. Even if they're not into auras, if they're not into, I don't know, they might not be into anything spiritual. But once they see that in you, a lot of people will be intimidated, or they will be attracted to you because they want to seek what it is that you have. And it's just like, I just figured myself out. You know what I'm saying? But is there anyone else that want to